where he should do well.
He's going to do better, but here's the problem. Mitt Romney is, with Obama, he's kind of like a boxer who knows he can't win. So he's going to keep trying to hug the guy and then hope he can get in some body blows at the end. Romney knows he can't beat Obama on charm. He can't beat Obama on presentation. He can't beat Obama on intensity. But he hopes if he can keep the race close by talking about the economy, talking about gas prices, maybe there'll be an October surprise and he can pull.
That these sort of advisors to these PACs, he's probably getting some kind of administrative percentage or fee
Huge.
or some direct salary that he's benefiting from enormously. Jason, do you think that Democrats should worry about this, or should they exploit this conservative victory project?
You know, a wise Confederate general once said, don't get anywhere near a circular firing squad. I mean, it's just not wise for the Democrats to get anywhere near this. They should let the Republicans beat themselves up. It doesn't make any sense to get anywhere close to this. And the reality is...
Rubio. If Rubio was on the Romney train, will the rest of the Tea Party warm up to him? Jason.
Look, I mean, Ronald Reagan could appear in the sky like the Lion King and say Mitt Romney is my candidate, and it's not going to make the Tea Party like this guy. I mean, look.
To the humble Jason Johnson. JJ?
Look, this is all about ego. This is all about anger. He's like old man, like Liam Neeson, old man angry. He's just out for revenge. You know.
What did Peggy Noonan say? The angry little attack muffin?
Exactly. I mean, he's all he wants to do is take down Mitt Romney for what Mitt Romney did to him in Iowa. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Newt Gingrich has no problem running a shoestring campaign. He did that all last year, but he is not getting out of this race. They're going to have to pry it out of his hands.
All right.
About the polls. Let's talk about the Pew Research Center finding the deepest ideological divide in the U.S. in 25 years. Let's add to that the official data from the U.S. saying the wealth gap has grown since last year. When you put all of that together, are we looking at a U.S. population that has reached unprecedented levels of division on every level?
Well, it's not so much unprecedented levels of division, but it is a changing U.S. population. I'll give you a quick example. If you look at 2008, Obama got 97% of the black vote, 70% of the Latino vote, high 60s of the Asian American vote, and he ends up winning the election. If he had won those exact same numbers in 1988, he would have lost.
Jason Johnson, political correspondent, Politic 365, professor at Hiram College as well. And we'll play some of the moments here as well. But give me your take coming out of this. Of the undecideds, and we don't know the percentage out there, was it the difference maker? Are they coming out and going, I know who my guy is now?
No, I don't think so, because there's no real undecideds. And you could see it in the questions that they were asking last night. I mean, look, you would think that Barack Obama wrote half those questions. I thought that they very clearly indicated what these voters felt. They knew who they liked from the beginning. And if you had any doubts, look at the first people that they hugged as soon as the debate was over. Half of them went rushing to Romney. Half of them went rushing to Barack Obama.
Give me an example. Give me an example of a question that went to Romney that you think, hey, did the president write this one?
I think her name was Susan Gatz or something else like that. The woman asked Mitt Romney the question, please explain to us the difference between you and George Bush. And I mean, David Axelrod could have written that question. I mean, like, it was a really tough question for Mitt Romney to answer. He should have been prepared for it. And then Barack Obama knocked it out of the park. But there were so many of these easy setup questions. I really think they could have done a better job of vetting who was asking what.
Was there one that you think?
Partially because Mitt Romney was a bad candidate, but also because Barack Obama had a better plan. He executed the plan better, and he had a better message. And in the end, that's what's going to win an American election. It was surprising that he won since he was outspent by his opposition, but he just had a better ground game.
What went wrong for the Republicans? Is it just that they didn't have the right candidate, or were there other factors?
It was deeper than having the wrong candidate. They had the wrong strategy. Mitt Romney felt that he could win by buying the air war instead of having a ground war, and also their messaging was just absolutely off. They had bad messaging with women, they had bad messaging with African Americans, and they tried to put together a small coalition which is no longer going to win presidential elections on a national level.
What does the political future look like for Mitt Romney now? It's not the first time that he's run for office.
Right.
He's only succeeded once, I believe, out of 3 times. Is it all over for him, you think?
He'll get a nice cushy job as a college professor somewhere or a college president. That's usually where you go as a Republican if you lose. I mean, he's done. He's done in public office. He will no longer be the leader of his party. That mantle will be handed to Marco Rubio or Paul Ryan or someone else like that. But this is the last time we're going to see Mitt Romney in any sort of prominent position nationally.
All right, let's talk about Barack Obama, and we've touched on this a bit with Rob Brennan.
Obviously, there's a lot of debate about
about truth within what we do. But I'm deeply concerned about the idea that we don't even, in the political world, know what counts as evidence towards an argument for truth.
Right, and sometimes we don't even have discussions of evidence. I think right now we have a lot of more face-checking than fact-checking. I mean, people want to talk about body language. They want to talk about levels of aggression. They want to talk about, did Obama seem bored? Was he thinking about his anniversary? Before anyone actually talked about whether or not the man said the truth. And I think that's the problem. We have too much discussion of sort of the pageantry of it, and not whether or not these men were saying the truth or whether or not their truth would be applicable if they get into office.
Jason, I love that. Faith-checking instead of fact-checking. I'm going to come right back to
with this very tough topic, and I'll start with you, Jason. Should we care what Dorner has to say about guns?
Yeah, because he says a lot about more than just guns. He tells us a lot about how our urban police departments are working. He tells us a lot about corruption. He tells us a lot about institutionalized racism. His story is the kind of testimony that we need to take a look at how America operates in general. Yes, it's too easy for people to get access to guns. Yes, we don't have enough proper health care, mental health care for people who come back and serve. And yes, we need to do a lot more work within our police departments to make sure corruption does not just permeate everything. So I think this case is very telling and very important.
Yeah, but Ross, this guy was so vile.
Can you help people understand why it's connected and how serious this is?
Well, the U.S. credit rating is important to our overall economy because it affects how other nations want to lend us, what kind of interest they ask for, which also affects how banks lend to regular people. Now, we know with the HSBC issue, there's been issues with banks, but at the end of the day, if the United States is seen as not a safe place to put your money, then Brazil, then Russia, then China, then most of Europe, they don't want to put money here, which affects all of us being able to keep and get jobs.